Now, punitive measures never have a strategic outcome. Punitive measures mean you go in, you lob a few bombs, and you go away, and you leave the chaos behind. If America is going to engage in any action, it has to have a clear strategic plan, explain what the outcomes are going to be, and what the military objective is. Punitive measures are, in my opinion, destructive and often publicity stunts that diverge from other bigger issues. Well, the United Nations and other countries, America is not the sole police force for the world. We need to join with other nations in the UN in then treating this as a crime, investigating it thoroughly and properly, taking the time to do it right, making sure we fully understand exactly what happened, and then taking international action to condemn the Assad regime. We haven't done that yet. We're not 100% certain that this was the Assad regime. It might likely may have been, but I haven't seen clear evidence of that yet. There is some speculation and some evidence that it was rogue generals or former generals that may have done this. I have to ask why Assad, who's close to winning, from what I've read, this civil war, would have put himself in a position to have the entire world come down on his head. Now, Bashar al-Assad is not a good man, trust me, I'm not a supporter. But I don't want to see further turmoil in Syria because of this. But he's preparing to take those steps, and that's our concern. There's a lot of talk about it. They've moved ships into position. They have the missiles ready to do it. So we're doing this as an effort to make sure it doesn't happen. Now, I'm much more concerned about Syria and what's happening to the world. And I think it's kind of, silly at a press conference of this magnitude to worry about Cory Booker's Hollywood lifestyle. It's demeaning to the people behind me, to their families that are at risk. Where does Cory Booker stand on bombing Syria? Where does Cory Booker stand? Will Cory Booker be a rubber stamp for Barack Obama's war in Syria? That's what I want to know. That to me is far more important.
Your comments were extremely homophobic.
Oh, okay.
So, how do you explain yourself? Are they or are they not?
No, they're not.
Can you clarify?
But again, are you concerned about a potential war in Syria? That's well. Then I think you should address that. That's true. Except, this election is not about validating Cory Booker's lifestyle. I don't care if Cory Booker is gay or straight. Problem is, he's too liberal for New Jersey, and I don't want to see him bring his failed policies into it to the federal level. And I want to know where he stands on a huge issue. Will he be a rubber stamp for the Obama administration potential war in Syria?
But Mr. Lonegan, you brought it up.
Or whatever.
You said you don't care if he's gay or straight, but you were the one that answered the question. You brought it up.
Okay. I didn't bring it up. Somebody else brought it up.
No, but you answered the question, though.
You mean I didn't write the Washington Post article.
No, but you answered the question in the radio interview.
Okay, yeah, I get asked the question.
So doesn't that kind of fuel the flames here a bit by answering the question?
I'll leave that up to Cory Booker. He can tell people where he stands. I mean, it's his life, not mine. I'm not here to judge the guy. Well, let me state my position. I support the right of every American to live their lives the way they choose, free of government intervention. I would recommend that gay people vote for me because I'm the person who's going to fight to cut their taxes, cut government regulations, allow them to build business and keep the fruits of their labor. That's my focus. And that's my message to the gay community. Actually, after meeting with these folks today, I'm even more moved by what's happening in Syria on a personal level. It's one thing to watch television stories about what's happening on the other side of the world. It's another thing to meet with people who have confronted this face to face. And it really gives a much more in-depth perspective on the impact that American policy can have on them and their families and their entire country, on our fellow human beings, actually. It's remarkable that Barack Obama so opposed the war in Iraq, attacked George Bush for talking about weapons of mass destruction, and in the Democrat primary, when Hillary Clinton supported the war in Iraq, that the president ran to the left of her as an anti-war candidate. Today we find that very same gentleman not only supporting a war in some way tacitly, but unable to move effectively on peacekeeping missions in similar countries. And actually talking out of his administration, particularly John Kerry, about assuming that Assad has these so-called chemical, or what you could call weapons of mass destruction. We believe they do to some extent. But where they are right now, are they moving around the country? Are they moving from place to place? How good is our intelligence? That's all questionable.